Hi there, I'm Maddie, a performance coach at 𝗪𝗘𝗘𝗞𝗪𝗡. Welcome to session 5 of our lockdown PE series. Today's focus is going to be on escalating density training, also known as EDT. This is a form of training that's going to work both your aerobic capacity and your muscular endurance. And the great thing about this is we can easily do it from home with really minimal equipment. So we're just going to start with a little bit of mobility. So to start with, getting into this press up position. My shoulders are over my hands. I'm going to go into a spider lunge. So foot to the outside of the hand, turn towards that leg and look up to the sky. Same again on the other side. We're going to do 5 of these on each side. Trying to get your hips a little lower each time. Keeping the flow as well. Trying to raise our heart rate a little bit. Keeping moving and warming up our muscles. We'll go for 1 more each side. Last one, and back to your feet. From here, we're just going to go into some inchworms, so make sure you've got a little bit of room out in front of you. I'm going to fold over and touch my toes, walk my hands out into this press up position, and then walk my hands back in and stand up. If you prefer, we can walk our hands out and then walk our feet in to meet. I'm going to do 5 of those. Walking our hands out and walking back in, trying to keep straight legs the whole time. If you need to bend them a little bit, that's okay. 5 of these in total, so just 1 more. And coming back in. Okay, the next part of our warm-up is going to be a frog squat, so nice wide stance. I'm going to keep my chest up and sit as low as I can into a squat. Put my fingers under my toes, lift my hips up to the sky, put them back down. Then I'm going to go arms overhead and stand up. We're going to do 5 of those. So sitting down as far as you can, fingers under toes, hips up, hips down, arms up, stand up. 3 more. Hips up, hips down, arms up and stand up. Trying to get a little bit lower into the squat each time and trying to lift our chest up as best we can in that part. Last one, hips up, hips down, arms up to the sky and stand up. That is the end of our mobility section. We're just going to move on to a bit of activation now. We're moving on to our activation part of the warm-up. So first things first, we're just going to do 10 bodyweight squats, nice and simple. So we've got our nice wide squat stance. You can either go arms out in front or across your chest, just encouraging you to keep your chest up. Sitting down into the squat and driving back up, trying to keep heels flat on the floor the whole time, keeping our chest up, looking forwards, pushing our knees over our toes as best as we can. Making every rep look the same and making them all look perfect. Just 3 more reps. 2 and 1 and relax there. We're now going to do some activation for our upper body. So we're going to go back into that press up position that we did in the warm up. From here you want to take your feet a little bit wider and then we're just going to tap your shoulder with the opposite hand. What we don't want to see is hips twisting each side. So keeping strong and stable, straight line from your shoulders to your heels. 5 taps on each side, so 10 in total. 8, 9, and 10. Back up onto your feet. This next part of the activation might challenge your coordination a little bit. But we'll see how well you can do it. So we're going to start in a bear crawl position. So start on your hands and knees, shoulders, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. From there, lift your knees off the floor so you're on your toes and we're in this tabletop position. From here, opposite arm to leg, we're going to take 1 step forwards, 1 step to the right, but we're going to cross our hands and open our legs. Then 1 step back, opposite arm to leg, and then cross again. So we've gone in a square, go again, forwards, right, backwards, left And then same the other way, forwards, left, backwards, right. One more, forwards, left, backwards, right. Back up onto your feet and have a breather there. I'm going to move on to some potentiation or some power work. First thing we're going to do is a single leg hop. So I'm going to start on my left leg. I'm going to hop forwards and make sure I stick the landing. Doesn't matter how far you go, we just want that really solid landing at the end. So we're going to do 3 on each foot, holding the landing for about a second. Make sure you're really stable. One more on this side. Walking back in between. Take a bit of rest in between each rep if you'd like to. Then I'm going to go onto my right foot and do the same. Making sure that landing is stable, but also not too loud on the floor. Landing like a ninja. Okay, we're going to stay on one leg for the next part, but we've just been looking forwards. This time we're going to go in all directions. So I'm going to start on my left leg. Make sure you've got a little bit of space to your left and right. I'm going to hop forwards, stick it to the right, stick it backwards, stick it to the left, stick it. I'm then going to do the same in the other direction. So forwards, left, backwards and right. Stick in each one. Relax for a second, then go onto the other foot and do the same pattern. You'll notice this is the same pattern we did our bear crawls in earlier. So forwards, right, backwards, left. You will probably notice you've got one leg stronger than the other, which is definitely the case for me, but we're just trying to close that gap. And stop there for a rest. In this next exercise, we're going to look a little bit more maximally, so we want to be covering a bit more ground, but we're going to do this on 2 feet. So this can be a little bit of a challenge. If you've got a tape measure, or if you've got something you can mark your distance with, that would be great, and you can see whether you're getting further each time. So I'm going to start over to this side a little bit. We're travelling in that direction. It's a broad jump, so just a horizontal jump as far as you can, but you're going to turn 90 degrees in the process. So when I land, I'll be facing that way. It's going to look like this. Remember, when we land, we're in that stable base position. 2 more on this side. Trying to get a little bit further each time. Still landing quietly. That's the last one on that side. And then going to stay over here. Do the same in the other direction. So 3 reps. Last one. See if you can beat your last 2 jumps. Just like that. And just take a rest there. We're now going to move on to some challenges. So the challenges are going to look at our balance on one leg. If you've got a full water bottle, you'll want to bring this in for this part as we can use it for some of the challenges. The first thing we're going to do is called a Y balance. So starting on one foot, I'm going to start on my left. With my right foot, I'm going to reach as far out in front of me as I can and tap the floor gently. Then as far out diagonally behind me as I can and tap the floor. And then as far diagonally in the other direction as I can, so going across the body. I'm going to do this 3 times. See if you can get a little bit further each time. Try not to put your other foot down in between each rep. You're just using that to tap as far as you can. Swapping over onto the other leg. As with the hops we did earlier, you might have one leg that you're a little bit more comfortable with than the other one, that's fine. So my right might not be quite as good as my left, but I'm reaching as far out in front of me as I can. As far diagonally back and as far in the other direction. If it helps, pick a point ahead of you that you focus on. So I'm looking just above the camera. That seems to be helping me. Try not to look directly down at your feet. 3 times round on that foot as well. Okay, if you've got your water bottle or something similar, we're going to use that for our next challenge. So, balancing on one foot, go back to the leg that you started on. So for me, that was my left. I'm going to hold my water bottle in my hand, make sure the lid is on tight. I'm then going to write my name in huge letters while I'm balancing on one foot. So the idea of this is that by pushing the water bottle out away from me, it's going to challenge my balance a little bit more. So I'm just going to write my name, huge letters, starting with the M, then the A, trying to balance as best as I can on my left foot. Also trying to remember how to spell my name at the same time. Really big letters, pause there, onto the other foot, same again. Imagining you've got a whiteboard in front of you or a huge piece of paper and you're writing your name on that. Reach out as high, as low, as far out in front of you as you can to write your name in big letters. And pause there. That's our second challenge done. Grab yourself a drink if you need it. We are still going to need the water bottles for the next challenge. So, back onto the leg you started on. I'll start on my left. I'm then going to pass my water bottle around my head, around my waist, and around both of my knees. So almost like a figure of 8 around there, then back around my waist, and back around my head. That is 1. We're going to do this 5 times without putting the other foot down. So head, waist, knees, waist, and head. Keep it going. 5 times. If you really want to challenge, go really low around the feet and go really high around the head. Put it out as far in front of you as you can. Speed it up a little bit. There's plenty of ways to make this more difficult. I'm going to go for 1 more. Whoop. And finish there. Back onto 2 feet. Give your left foot a break for a little bit. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other foot. So set yourself up. Nice and stable. Then we go around the head, waist, knees, back up. Remembering those ways we can challenge it. Further out in front of you, lower down on the feet. Speeding up the process a little. Remembering, if you focus on a point out in front of you, you might find that a little bit easier. We're going to go for 1 more. Ooh. All the way around. And finish there. Back onto 2 feet and grab yourself a drink. The next challenge of our balance section is going to be to do a pistol squat. So this is quite a difficult exercise, but there are quite a few variations that we can do that then get us to that final point, okay? So the final part that we want to get to is the pistol squat, and that looks something like this. We're on 1 foot. I'm going to squat down, get my hips as low as I can, almost down to my ankle, while keeping my right leg out in front of me, and then come back up in the same way. Okay, so nice and slow, down to the bottom, and back up. Okay, notice how I kept my foot flat on the floor the whole time. We don't really want to be rolling onto our toes for that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with the balancing and with the hops, I know I've got one leg that is stronger and more comfortable on this than the other one is. So for my right foot, there are a few things that I can do. First of all, I can hold my water bottle or something else that's quite heavy out in front of me. Now this may seem like it's going to make it harder and that you're doing it with extra weight, but by having it out in front of you, it acts as a counterbalance and is actually going to help you out. So I'm going to hold it out in front of me, set myself up on the right foot, go as low as I can, and then come back up again. We don't have to go bum all the way to the hill, but that's something we can build to. Alternatively, I can use a box or a chair or a bench, whatever it is you've got, to only go to a certain height. So I'm going to tuck my heel quite close into the box, other foot out in front of me, squat down, tap my bum on the box. I'm not sitting on the box, just tapping it down and driving back up, just like this. Give it a go, see how well you do, see if you can get into that full pistol squat and go all the way down to the floor. Onto our EDT portion, so our escalating density training portion of the session. So this is the last part. We've got three different versions of this that I'm going to show you. They both pair an upper body exercise with a lower body exercise, so while you're doing one, the other one is resting. The first variation we're going to do is going to be a split squat paired with a press up. So a split squat, we want to take a big step forwards, keeping our chest up, looking forwards, either hands on your waist or across your chest, lower down, keep your back knee off the floor and drive back up. We'll do 3 on one side, then we'll swap the legs over and 3 on the other side. We'll then move into our press-ups. Now, I know that I won't be able to do press-ups from the floor for the 3 minutes, so I'm going to use the box and use it as an incline. So my hands are on the edge of the box, but I'm still getting my chest all the way down to the box on each rep and keeping a straight line from my shoulders to my heels. If you can do floor press-ups or if you can do weighted press-ups for the full 3 minutes, then by all means, please do. As I said, we're going to go for 3 minutes and we're going to start that. Now, off we go. So 3 split squats on each side, swap legs, 3 on the other side, and then 3 press-ups. And then we move back into our split squats. The idea of this is that it's not like a circuit. We're not aiming to get it done as quickly as we possibly can. We just want to keep moving through the exercises and doing them with really good form. Back into our split squats, keeping the form really, really good. As you can probably hear, I'm starting to get a little bit out of breath. You should be as well. Back to our upper body. Just keeping going between our 2 exercises. Just keep trying to focus on the exercise that you're on, making sure your form is really good. Focusing on those points I said at the start, so back knee just off the floor, chest up and eyes forwards. Chest all the way down to the box. Starting to get pretty challenging on that exercise. And that's our 3 minutes done. Well done, have a little break there, grab yourself a drink. Hopefully you've had a chance to grab a drink and have a little bit of a break after our last EDT. On to number 2. Again, we're going to pair a lower body exercise with an upper body exercise, and both of these exercises are going to be on the floor, okay? So the first one is going to be a glute bridge. So I'm going to get onto the floor, bring my heels in towards my bum, my arms are going to cross my chest, and I'm going to keep my chin into my chest the whole time. From here, I'm lifting my hips up to the sky, rolling onto my shoulders and lowering back down, keeping that space behind your head by keeping your chin into your chest. It's going to be 5 reps of these. From there, you can quite simply roll over onto your front, because then we're putting our forehead on the floor, creating a W with our arms, thumbs up to the sky, squeezing together, lifting up to the sky and lowering back down. Just tapping your fist on the floor as you get to the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start our timer, 3 minutes again. 5 reps of the glute bridge, 5 reps of the W raises. Staying on the floor the whole time, resting your legs a little bit on this one. We're going in 3, 2, 1, and off we go, 3 minutes. Hips up to the sky, squeezing your glutes, keeping your chin into your chest. For 5 reps, roll over into your W raise. Forehead on the floor, thumbs up to the sky. Five there. Rolling back over into our glute bridge. Again, setting yourself up really well each time. Remembering those key points I said earlier. Squeezing your glutes at the top of each rep. And in the same way, we're squeezing our shoulder blades together at the top of each rep of our W raises as well. Trying to lift as high up as you can. You probably won't go particularly far, but that is okay. Back into this one. That's 1 minute gone already, just over. 2 minutes to go. Over into the next one. Keep it going between the 2 exercises, pushing primarily through our heels on our glute bridge, lifting hips up to the sky. If you lose count like I do on a couple of reps and you do 4 or you do 6, it doesn't matter too much at all. Just keep moving between the 2 exercises. One more minute to go now. Keep going right to the end. As I've said before, keep in that good form. Remember those key points I said. Thumbs up to the sky, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping your forehead flat on the floor. Not long to go now, just 20 more seconds. We'll see how many sets we get through of each exercise. Probably just time for 1 more. And stop there. That is our 3 minutes up. Very well done. Grab yourselves a quick drink and have a break before we do our final one. For our last EDT, you're going to need your water bottle again as a little bit of a weight or just some sort of resistance. Again, if you've got anything heavy or anything different you'd like to use, that's absolutely fine. So this is going to get our heart rate up a little bit more and be a little bit more challenging than our previous ones, but it's the last thing we're going to do. The first exercise for this one is going to be an RDL, or a Romanian deadlift. I'll just do a quick demo. So we want feet underneath hips, holding your water bottle, whatever it is you're using, either in two hands or like this, doesn't matter too much. All you're going to do, push your bum back to the wall until the water bottle is just below your knees, and you can probably feel a bit of a pulling in your hamstrings, and then we come back up. That's our RDL. We're going to do 5 of those, nice and slow and controlled. As I've said with all the exercises, really mastering the movement and making our form really good. The second exercise we're going to do is a reverse lunge with a press overhead. So a little bit more to think about on this one. Again, when I step back with my right leg, my weight or my water bottle is going to be in my right hand, and I'm going to press it overhead. I'm going to do 3 on that side. I'll then swap to the other side, and as my left goes back, my left hand pushes overhead. Trying to stay nice and balanced, not leaning to one side as we push, okay? So again, 3 minutes on this one. The last one we're going to do, give it everything you've got. Going in 3, 2, 1, off we go. 5 RDLs, pushing your bum back to the wall, your weight just below your knees. 5 of those. Then I'll start with the bottle in my right hand, right arm up, right leg back, swap to the other side, left arm up, left leg back, the water bottle and the weight just challenging that a little bit more, and back into our 5 RDLs. Nice and slow and controlled. As I've said with the other exercises, it's not a race to get through it. We want good form, and we just want to keep moving the whole time, ticking between the exercises with excellent form. Good. That is just over a minute gone. 2 minutes to go of our final EDT of this session. 3 of these on each side. You should know it now. Remembering those key pointers for each of these exercises. Pushing your bum back, rolling your water bottle almost down the front of your legs. 4 and 5. Back in to this one. A minute left on this one. Last little bit of this session. Keep it going right to the end. Back in. Heart rate should be lifted a little bit again. As you can probably hear, I'm a little bit out of breath. You should be as well. And this exercise is helping out working our lower body and our upper body at the same time, giving it more to do. On to the other side. About 15 seconds left. We might just get a few more RDLs in. Still keeping that really good form right to the end. And we're stopping there. Very well done. Grab yourself a drink and take a break. That is the end of our session. Very well done. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can find us on Instagram at @𝗪𝗘𝗪𝗡_HQ. Tag us in your workouts. Let us know how you got on. Thanks very much.